So hello and welcome to the Unacademy. My name is Amol Ghatole, and in this video lecture we are going to discuss about some of the important topics like nuclear technology. And before that कुछ important चीजें हैं जो मैं आपको बताने जाने वाला हूँ कि अनअकैडमी ने अभी मेगा सब्सक्रिप्शन ऑफर चल रही है, जिसके अंतर्गत इफ आप ये सब्सक्रिप्शन 28 अप्रैल के पहले लेते हो देन यू विल गेट द प्लान 1 ईयर प्लान। और ये जब चलेगा वो प्रीलिम्स 2022 तक चलेगा, यानी कि 2021 की प्रीलिम्स एंड 2022 की भी प्रीलिम्स आपको मिलेगी एंड 2 इयर्स प्लान भी इसमें है और इट्स स्टिल वैलिड टिल प्रीलिम्स 2023। ओके, एंड फॉर गेट द बेनिफिट यू टू यूज द कोड अमोल 1506, आपको 10% इसमें डिस्काउंट मिलेगा। ओके, नाउ अनदर इम्पॉर्टेंट थिंग कि अनअकैडमी ने यूपीएससी अगर आपको क्रैक करनी है प्रीलिम्स, जो अपकमिंग यूपीएससी प्रीलिम्स आने वाले हैं 27 जून को, उसके लिए 3500 MCQs, one of the important things has been started and it will cover the complete coverage of syllabus for prelims, and it will be started by the top educators of the Unacademy. It will cover all NCERT and prelims test series which will be beneficial for you to crack this examination. Okay, now अगर आप ये सब्सक्रिप्शन लेते हो तो 1 ईयर सब्सक्रिप्शन में और ऑनवर्ड्स लेते हो तो आपको 20 बुक्स जो अल्टीमेट इम्पोर्टेंट है क्रिएटेड बाय द बेस्ट यूपीएससी एक्सपर्ट्स आपको दिए जाएंगे। एंड ये जो ऑफर है इट इज वैलिड टिल 14th अप्रैल। 100% सिलेबस कंप्लीशन होगा, हाईली स्ट्रक्चर्ड फॉर एज ऑफ लर्निंग। दीज आर सर्टेन इम्पोर्टेंट थिंग्स एंड created by the best UPSC experts, which includes a previous year questions and updated with the current affairs only. Okay, so these are the important things you need to understand now। और ये सभी सब्सक्रिप्शन आपको चाहिए होंगे तो you need to use the code amol 1506, 10% डिस्काउंट आपको मिलेगा यहाँ पे। ओके, सो नाउ जितने जल्दी हो सके उतने जल्दी प्लीज सब्सक्राइब कीजिए। नाउ वी आर गोइंग टू डिस्कस अबाउट द न्यूक्लियर टेक्नोलॉजी। इट इज फॉर रिवीजन ऑफ फॉर द प्रीलिम्स 2021, and in this nuclear technology, science and technology, we are going to revise the certain important things. So what is nuclear technology? That is important. What is meant by nuclear technology? So nuclear technology is a technology that involves nuclear reactions of atomic nuclei। अभी एटॉमिक न्यूक्लिया क्या है ये भी आपको समझना जरूरी है। बेसिक थिंग्स अगर आपके अच्छे हो, इट इज नॉट मच इम्पोर्टेंट। यूपीएससी इज नॉट गोइंग टू आस्क डायरेक्ट क्वेश्चंस ऑन व्हाट इज एटम, बेसिक एटम्स, बट यू नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट। conceptual understanding is the most important thing। Okay, so what is atom? Atom means it contains fundamental constituent of matter. It is made up of 3 tiny subatomic particles. What are these 3 tiny subatomic particles? The particles are protons, neutrons and electrons. The protons, electrons and neutrons, these are tiny subatomic particles which are present in the atom. So the protons, which is positively charged, and neutrons is the negatively charged, make up the center of the atom and it is called as the nucleus. We know it means in the nucleus of the atom contains positively charged protons and no charged neutrons, make up the center and it is called as a nucleus. And the electrons, which are negatively charged, fly around above the nucleus, is called as a small cloud. So this is about the atom. We need to understand basic things before understanding the nuclear technology. Okay, now what is isotopes? Isotopes means atoms of the same elements that have different number of neutrons. हमने प्रोटॉन न्यूट्रॉन देखा था. प्रोटॉन यानी पॉजिटिव चार्ज, न्यूट्रॉन यानी नो चार्ज एंड इलेक्ट्रॉन यानी नेगेटिव चार्ज. प्रोटॉन एंड न्यूट्रॉन विच आर present in the nucleus. Now the isotopes, these are also important. For uranium 239 you need to understand what is isotopes to understand the nuclear reactions. And isotopes means atoms of the same element that have different number of neutrons, means no charge. Unstable nuclei, जो unstable nuclei रहता है, give off the radiation so as to become stable. Isotopes of such atoms are called radioactive isotopes. Unstable nuclei जो रहता है, give off the radiations देता है and so as to become stable होने के लिए खुद को. And for that purpose, isotopes of such atoms are called radioactive isotopes. Hope understand atoms and isotopes. Now what is radioactive decay? The radioactive decay, it is the process by which an unstable nucleus emits elementary particles. Unstable nucleus जो होता है, हमने isotopes देखा. अभी unstable nucleus जो है radioactive decay, it emits the elementary particles. What are these elementary particles? These are alpha particles, beta particles, gamma rays in the form of radiations. The instability, the reason behind the instability is caused by either an excess of protons in the nucleus, either there is an excess of protons or an excess of neutrons which are present in the nucleus. As the atom attempt to become stable, it released energy, and this released energy is important for the nuclear reaction to generation of the energy, to generation of the electricity, and it release energy and matter in the form of radiations. Okay, now another important thing, half-life refers to a time for half of the radioactive nuclei in any atom to undergo radioactive decay. These are important things. Another important things is the nuclear fission and nuclear fusion. So nuclear energy, how nuclear energy comes, we have seen about the atoms, isotopes. Okay, so after atoms, isotopes and nuclear or radioactive decay, the nuclear energy comes from splitting of atoms into a reactor to heat water into a steams, turn turbines and generate electricity. यानी nuclear technology क्या use करते? It use the nuclear reactions. Nuclear technology are used specifically in the nuclear reactors, nuclear weapons based on nuclear fission and nuclear fusion. So these are also important things to understand. Now, what is nuclear fission and what is nuclear fusion? Okay, so how does nuclear technology work? Before moving forward for nuclear fusion and nuclear fission, we need to understand nuclear energy. It is the energy released by the change of nucleus of an atom caused by either nuclear fission or nuclear fusion. Fission means splitting of two atoms. One atom becomes a two. And fusion means two atoms get coalescing together. And we understand what is the atom. Atom is the fundamental building block of matter. The nucleus of an atom is a congregational consisting of protons and neutrons. And we have seen protons carries the positive charge while neutrons do not have any electrical charge, but electrons have the negative charge. And nuclear technology is used for changing the nucleus of some specific elements. And nucleus contains protons and neutrons, such as uranium, which releases nuclear energy. And nuclear energy is produced naturally by nuclear fusion. Why fusion and what is fission? We are going to discuss. Fusion reaction specifically होती है in sun, which creates a light and radioactive radiations. And जो fusion reactions होती है specifically in the sun, the byproduct is helium. Nuclear energy is also released by the nuclear fission also. naturally of the decay of elements such as uranium. It is produced through man-made operations in the nuclear power plants and nuclear weapons. So, what is nuclear fission? Okay, nuclear fission, it means it refers to a process of splitting of the nucleus of an atom into two or more smaller particles. That's why nucleus is important thing. Nucleus contains protons and neutrons. It is the heavy nucleus splits into two small nuclei. Okay, and how does it happens? I told you that stability of the nucleus is important. If it is unstable, then it creates the reactions. The stability of the nucleus is maintained by the balance between repulsive forces of protons and the nuclear attractive or binding force. During the fission, the repulsive force becomes dominant over the binding force and unstable nucleus. That is important thing you need to understand. Another important thing, nuclear energy, इसमें क्या important है? The evolution of nuclear technology also we are going to discuss. It has been started by Henry Becquerel in 1896. Okay, so in the nuclear fissions we understand that the nuclear fission of heavy elements is the exothermic reactions. Okay, and produces free neutrons, no charge. It produces free neutrons by exothermic reactions, gamma photons and large amount of energy. So what is this exothermic reaction? Exothermic reaction means it releases energy in the form of heat or light. Therefore, the net amount of energy required to initiate an exothermic reaction is less than net amount of energy released by reaction. It means जो net amount of energy required होती है to initiate a reaction for exothermic reaction in an exothermic reaction is less than the output net amount of energy released. यानी ये शुरुआत करने के लिए जो एनर्जी लगती है वो कम लगती है than the output. It releases neutrons and energy in the form of heat, kinetic energy and electromagnetic radiations. The stability of the nucleus is maintained by the balance between repulsive forces. We have discussed that. So the nuclear fission occurs naturally in the substances having heavy nuclei, which becomes unstable and undergo spontaneous fission. Why spontaneous fission? Because it's unstable. Either protons are more or neutrons are more, and that's why it is unstable. And that's why it's go spontaneous fission, and it can occur by man-made process by bombarding nuclei with the neutrons. अनस्टेबल करने के लिए न्यूक्लियस में न्यूक्लिया क्या करता है, बम्बार्ड किया जाता है विद द न्यूट्रॉन्स इन द न्यूक्लियर. The nuclear fission reaction releases fast moving neutrons. It releases fast moving neutrons. अगर आप देखोगे तो incidence neutrons आपको देख सकते हो. Specifically it's a chain reaction to create a energy. एक न्यूट्रॉन इंसिडेंट न्यूट्रॉन आप ये करते हो तो इट्स अ चेन रिएक्शन. उसके आउटपुट जो रहेगा उसमें फिर से न्यूट्रॉन्स निकलेगा और दैट न्यूट्रॉन्स become again an incident neutrons and it again release energy, and this release energy again create a neutrons and it will be used again in the incidence of neutron, and it's a fission products. Nuclear fission was first used by humans for the development of atomic bomb on the eve of World War II. अभी fission of uranium atoms कैसे होते, that is also important. Most of the naturally occurring uranium, जो जितना भी naturally occurring uranium होता है in the form of isotopes, who had discussed about isotopes, uranium 238 around 99% and the remaining in the form of uranium 238 and 235. Only uranium 235 has capability to undergo nuclear fission easily to any great extent. That is also important. That's why we use uranium 235 for the nuclear reactions. Enriched uranium is used for nuclear power applications whose concentration varies from low enriched uranium having 3 to 5% around enrichment to higher levels. So this is about the nuclear fission reactions. Okay, now what is nuclear fusion? So the nuclear fusion, it refers to a reaction in which two or more lighter nuclei join together to form one or more heavier products. The products of the fusion reaction are usually different atomic nuclei and subatomic particles such as neutrons and protons. It means the product जो निकलता है because of fusion reactions are different atomic nuclei. Change in masses takes place because of nuclear fusion. Masses में change होता है between the reactants and products, which is manifested as either release of energy or absorption of energy. Either release of energy or absorption of energy. Okay. Another important thing, nuclear fusion कहाँ पे होता है? मैंने बताया था कि it is specifically takes place in the sun of our solar system. sun में होता है and other active star of the universe. Only fusion is opposite to nuclear fission. Fusion में दो atoms जो होते हैं form together a more heavier products like deuterium and tritium and provides a helium and neutron फिर से निकलता है energy products where the heavy nucleus splits apart in nuclear fission reaction. Nuclear fusion reaction process producing nuclei lighter than the iron 56 or nickel 62 are exothermic reaction. And I told you what is exothermic reaction. It usually releases heat and entails the replacement of the weak bond with the stronger one. Replace weak bond with the stronger one. And nuclear fusion कहाँ पे होता है? In the sun. Nuclear fusion takes place in which hydrogen nuclei combine together to produce the helium. Okay. And another important thing, this release energy as a large amount of energy. Is released large amount of energy due to change in the binding energy and conversion of mass into energy. Conversion of mass into energy according to E is equal to mc square. It means Einstein formula. So this is about the nuclear fusion. Now, nuclear power reactor. The nuclear power reactor is a device used for initiating or controlling the self-sustained nuclear chain reactions, and it produces and controls the energy release from fission of the nuclear fuel such as uranium. Remember over here, nuclear power reactor use nuclear fission reactions, not a fusion. The reason behind, for fusion lots of amount of energy is required, and for that purpose lots of money is also required. That's why we use nuclear fission reaction. It means splitting of the atoms into two atoms. Okay, the energy produced in the reactor is used for heating the steam and producing electricity. Energy उसके लिए use की जाती है. And nuclear reactors are used for nuclear research also, producing electricity at the nuclear power plant. There are different types of nuclear power plants in India. So the nuclear reactor has the following components. What are these? Nuclear fuel, moderator, control rods, coolant, steam generator. So what is nuclear fuel? Nuclear fuel, it is the element used in the nuclear power. Okay. It is used in the nuclear power plant for producing energy. For powering the turbines, usually enriched uranium-235 has been used compared to 238. It is easy to use. Or plutonium-239 is used as a fuel in the nuclear reactor. So the nuclear fuel, for nuclear fuel, what has been used? Uranium-235 or plutonium-239. Then moderator. Moderator is used for reducing the speed of the fast neutrons. Chain reaction है, तो चेन रिएक्शन में काफी फास्ट रिएक्शंस होती है. दैट्स व्हाई मॉडरेटर का काम क्या है? ये जो न्यूट्रॉन्स है उसकी स्पीड कम करना, रिलीज फ्रॉम द फिशन रिएक्शंस. Okay, and making them capable of sustaining the nuclear chain reactions. उसको specifically क्या करना, capable for sustaining the nuclear chain reactions. That is important thing. Usually water, solid graphite or heavy water has been used for moderator in the nuclear reactor. Then what is control rods? Control rods, these are the neutron absorbing materials. Control rods are neutron absorbing material used for controlling the number of neutrons. It can be used to control the number of neutrons, which can cause further fission of nuclear fuel. That's why moderator and control rods are used to control the fission reactions. Control rods are like a brakes which absorb neutrons so that fewer neutrons are available to cause the fission reactions. यानी काफी ज्यादा ये चेन रिएक्शंस है तो काफी ज्यादा न्यूट्रॉन्स प्रोडक्ट्स में निकलते हैं. इट कंट्रोल बाय द control rods. Okay. Now what is coolant? Coolant, it is liquid or a gas which circulate through the core and transfer the heat produced. जो heat produce होती है it transferred by fission reaction. Fission reactions के कारण जितनी भी energy released होती है, heat released होती है, it transfer to an external boiler by the coolant and turbine for producing electricity. That is the function of coolant. Then steam generator, it is the part of the cooling system. It is the part of the cooling system which steam is generated by using heat from the reactor. That is the important thing. Okay, now another important thing is the three phases. Before that, we are going to discuss about types of nuclear reactor. There are different types of nuclear reactor. What are these? Boiling water reactor, pressurized water reactor, heavy water reactors or reactions, gas cool reactors. So the first is boiling water reactor. So what is boiling water reactor? What is the significance of boiling water reactor? In boiling water reactor, the reactor's core heats water. The reactor core जो होता है, it heats the water passing through it and converts it into the steam. Boiling water reactor में जो भी water होता है, it heat the water which are passing through it and converts it into the steam which is used for driving a steam turbine. Steam turbine को drive करने के लिए use किया जाता है and for generating electricity. And to generate the electricity, boiling water reactor has been used. The exhausted steam come out of the turbine in condensed into water. Steam create होती है, again condensed into water in the condenser. Sir. And this condensed water is again pumped to the reactor core and cycle repeats. That's why boiling water reactor is used. We know the condensation process. For condensation process, in the last lecture, we have discussed what are the important elements: temperature, humidity. These are certain important factors for condensation process. Now what is pressurized water reactor? We have discussed about boiling water reactor, then pressurized water reactor. In pressurized water reactor, what happens? Pressurized water reactor is used specifically in the primary coolant loop for carrying heat to a steam generator. It carries heat to a steam generator. The reactor core heats this pressurized water which does not boil due to the high pressure and high boiling point. It does not. The pressurized water reactor क्या होगा? High pressure and high boiling points के कारण ज़्यादा heat नहीं होगा. This water gets heated and reaches the higher temperature, and then it is used for exchanging heat. यानी pressurized water reactor is used in the primary coolant loop for carrying heat to the steam generator. Okay, and then the reactor core heat this pressurized water which does not boil due to the high pressure. ये boil नहीं होगा due to the high pressure, and this water gets heated and reaches the high temperature. This is too much complicated process, but these are the basic things only. UPSC is not directly going to ask the questions, but you need to understand that. Then heavy water reactor. What is heavy water reactor? The reactors uses heavy water like deuterium oxides as its coolants and moderator. In heavy water reactor, what has been used? Deuterium oxide as its coolant and moderator. The heavy water reactor use enriched uranium 235 as a fuel. Heavy water reactor में uranium 235 has been used as a fuel. Normal water then used as a moderator. And in heavy water reactor, normal water has been used as a moderator, which can absorb some neutrons and can pose hurdles on sustaining the chain reaction. That's why you need to understand what is proton, what is neutron, what is electron in the nucleus. These are important things. Okay. Now, another important thing over here is the India's three-phase power program, which can be useful specifically for prelims purposes. What is first stage, second stage, and third stage? In the first stage, it is already in the commercial domain. The Nuclear Power Corporation of India Limited, that is NPCIL, which is a PSU under Department of Atomic Energy, is responsible for the design, construction, and operation of the nuclear reactor. It was the first stage. It is in the commercial domain. Second stage is geared towards the setting up of the fast breeder reactors. It is under the Indira Gandhi Center for Atomic Research, and Kalpakkam has been engaged in design and development of liquid helium cooled fast breeder reactors. And Indira Gandhi Center for Atomic Research has successfully developed fast breeder reactors technology. So these are two, second technology, and third, and which is important, is the nuclear power program is in the technology development stage. The ongoing development of 300 megawatt advanced heavy water reactor at Bhabha Atomic Research Center, which is in the Mumbai, aims at developing expertise for thorium utilization and demonstrating advanced safety concept. These thorium-based systems, such as advanced heavy water reactor, can be set up on commercial scale only after large capacity base on fast breeder reactor is built up. So these are three important phases: first stage, second stage, and third stage. First stage, it is already in commercial domain. Second stage में the important things over here, you need to understand fast breeder reactor. Setting up the fast breeder reactor by the Indira Gandhi Center for Atomic Research and Kalpakkam, which has already successfully developed fast breeder reactor. And what is fast breeder reactor? We have already discussed. Boiling water reactor. For fast reactor, what is fast breeder reactor? The fast breeder reactors are those which are capable of generating more fuel than it's consumed. That's why in the second stage, the fast breeder reactor has been developed. It means it generates more energy than the fuel it consumes. These have higher neutrons economy for breeding fissile fuels from the material like uranium-238 and thorium-232. The breeder reactors use fast-moving neutrons for producing energy. So what is this? Thorium-232 is important. We are going to discuss that also. Okay, so this is about the fast breeding reactor. And advanced heavy water reactor, thorium reactor has been used in it. Okay, so now why thorium-based reactors are important for India? As I told you, thorium-232, thorium reactor. The thorium-232 is not fissile material, but when it absorbs a neutron, जब ये absorb करता है न्यूट्रॉन, it converts itself into the uranium-233. यानी thorium-232 जो है is not fissile material, यानी उसका splitting नहीं होगा, but when it absorbs the neutrons, it converts itself into the uranium-233, which is fissile material. And the thorium-232 can be used multiple times for producing electricity and can create endless cycle of fuel availability. And one of the important thing why thorium-232 is important for India, because largest reserves of thorium in India. and uranium 239, 238 we need to absorb, we need to import from other countries, specifically from Australia. Okay, that's why thorium based reactor are important for India. Less enrichment required. Thorium mining produces a single pure isotopes, whereas the mixture of natural uranium isotope must be enriched to function. सुपीरियर न्यूक्लियर प्रॉपर्टीज इसकी होती है, सुपीरियर फिजिकल एंड न्यूक्लियर प्रॉपर्टीज, बेटर न्यूक्लियर वेपन रेजिस्टेंस फॉर न्यूक्लियर proliferation treaty, nuclear weapon proliferation. It resists to nuclear vapor proliferation. जो इशू हुआ था ईरान एंड ईरान न्यूक्लियर डील में, इट वाज दिस इशू. यूएसए को लगा कि ईरान इज यूजिंग फॉर न्यूक्लियर वेपन्स दिस यूरेनियम. That's why thorium is important, because it creates a chain reaction from thorium 232 with neutrons. It creates uranium 233, which is a fissile material which can be used to create an energy. और इसका जो मल्टीपल टाइम्स यूज होने के बाद इसका जो फ्यूल लगता है वो भी कम लगता है इसको. Okay, and it is abundant in India. That's why it is important. Now, there are other important things also in India. Apsara U. What is Apsara U? Apsara was the first research reactor in Asia. Specifically, it is in the Mumbai and become operational in 1956 at Bhabha Atomic Research Center. After more than 5 decades of operation, it shut down in 2009. So Apsara upgraded. It's a swimming pool type research reactor. The Apsara upgraded and started working at Trombay. So what is Apsara upgraded research reactor? It can be used for research purposes and not for the commercial use. That's why research reactor. This reactor has been developed indigenously. It's an indigenous product. Use plate types dispersion fuel elements made up of low enriched uranium by virtue of higher neutrons flux. This reactor will increase the indigenous production. It will increase the indigenous production or radioisotopes for medical applications. Okay. Another important thing, it can be extensively used for research in nuclear physics, material science, and radiation field. This development has re-emphasized the capability of Indian scientists and engineers to build complex facilities for healthcare, science, education, and research. So we are going to discuss what is the significance of nuclear technology also. Okay, so where are the nuclear reactors in India? In Rajasthan, it is Rawalbhata. Tamil Nadu, Kundankulam and Kalpakkam. It is in Tamil Nadu. Kalpakkam, it is near to Chennai, and Kundankulam near to the Kanyakumari. Kakrapar, it is in Gujarat. Narora in UP. कर्नाटका में कैगा है, and Maharashtra Tarapur and Trombay. These are the important nuclear reactors in India, which you need to remember. Okay, now Kaiga nuclear power plants. Why it is important and why it was in the news? It is the pressurized heavy water reactor. So what is pressurized heavy water reactor? Pressurized heavy water reactor. We discuss a water reactor. Pressurized water is used in primary coolant loop for carrying heat to the steam generator. It can be used for the steam generator. The reactor core heats this pressurized water